Have you ever looked at someone you love and thought, what if they're not even human? I know. You probably think I've lost it. It sounds insane. But tell me, have you ever really studied the person next to you when they didn't know you were watching? I mean, really looked? Because that's when you start to see things you're not supposed to. And I've seen enough to know I'm not imagining this. When I met Elle, she didn't just walk into my life. She stepped into it like she already owned it. Beautiful? Yes, but it was more than that. She had this gravity, the kind of presence that made people shut up mid-sentence when she walked into a room. Even the loudest, cockiest guys in the bar seemed to shrink when she looked at them. It wasn't just attraction, it was power. And somehow, she decided I was worth her time. We clicked instantly. Camping, hiking, driving into the middle of nowhere, just to set up a tent under the stars. She could reverse a pickup truck into the tightest space without even checking the mirrors. She could shoot a beer can off a fence post from 30 yards away without missing once. And she told stories so vivid I could almost smell the pine trees, feel the ice-cold rivers she swore she'd swum in as a child. Except, when I asked her where exactly those places were, she'd smile, like I was missing the punchline, and say, I flock from the Midwest. Not come from. Flock. Like a bird. Like she wasn't alone when she came. And then, she'd change the subject. When she moved into my apartment, the strange things started. I have never, and I mean never, seen her sleep. I'd wake up at 2:17, 3:04, 4:59, and she'd be awake, sometimes sitting on the floor, cross-legged, staring at the wall, sometimes halfway through a book I swear wasn't there before. She never looked tired, not once. And animals? No chance. Dogs froze when they saw her, hackles raised, teeth bared. Cats would hiss, vanish under beds, or bolt out of the room. Once, a crow landed on our balcony while I was drinking coffee and just stared at her. Didn't make a sound, just stared. Then it flew away. When I mentioned getting a dog, she didn't just say no. She leaned forward, locked eyes with me, and said, don't even think about it. It wasn't a suggestion, it was an order. Then came the camping trip. We hiked for hours, and she never slowed down. The forest was alive at first. Birds singing, insects buzzing, leaves rustling. But the closer we got to her chosen spot, the quieter it became. By the time we reached it, it was dead silent. No birds, no crickets, no wind, just a cold, heavy stillness. I said, that's weird. It just got really quiet. And without looking at me, she said, it always does when I'm here. You'll get used to it. That night, by the fire, she barely spoke. When I tried to tell her about a dream I'd had, I realized halfway through that she was just staring at me, not blinking, head tilted, like she was listening to something behind me. When I turned, there was nothing there. When I turned back, she was smiling. When we got home, I couldn't let it go. I searched online for hours. Shapeshifters, skinwalkers, creatures that silence forests. Every single box was checked. But the scariest part? There were recent reports. People disappearing after meeting someone who didn't seem quite right. Couples where one person was never seen again. And then, last night, I woke up at exactly 3:03 a.m. She was at the window, the street outside completely empty. The moonlight lit her face, but her reflection didn't match her movements. It was taller, its head tilted slowly, unnaturally, And the eyes, they were glowing, not bright, but enough. She turned, smiled, and said, "Go back to sleep. It's not time for you to know yet." I froze, didn't move, didn't speak, just lay there, pretending to sleep, feeling her watch me all night until the sun came up. Now, I don't know if I should confront her. I don't know if I should run. But if I disappear, remember this story. Remember her. Because I think she's already decided what happens next. If this story gave you chills, hit subscribe, because the next one might just be about you.